Yes, that's ongoing research. What we try to get them to do is to perform their talent while being mapped, while being recorded. We would record a baseline recording when they're not performing their particular art,
right,
and then make a recording while they're performing their art. And if we can get 5, 6, 12 pianists that can play the piano just exquisitely, and we notice a commonality between that pattern that differs from the general population while they do that, then we have identified a specific state of consciousness that would enhance being a concert pianist.
And you have documented this?
In some talents, yes. It's hard to collect data on all these things, but there are some talents that we have been able to identify.
And are you able to see similar activity in a specific part of the brain with regard to a very talented person, or does it vary according to what the talent is?
Both according to the talent and according to the person. This is the brain. Each one of our brains is not identical. They are anatomically different. As we grow from infancy through adulthood, the folds and creases and changes in our brain are all different. Fortunately, there are some common patterns, and it's ferreting out those common patterns over hundreds and hundreds of subjects that is our task.
Wow. That's quite a task you've undertaken. And I suppose when we get to the practical applications, we get into the educational division. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. I would like to ask that you hold on just one moment. We'll come right back to you, and we are interviewing actually a number of individuals from the Monroe Institute. We'll be right back. All right. And once again, F. Holmes Atwater, who is a researcher for the Monroe Institute. And are you there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Good. We've got only a couple of moments before the bottom of the hour.
Yes.
But how much of your research now is able to be translated into educational help for people who want to know more about this? In other words, how much of what you have done has become practical application?
Yes, there are. That's a really good question, and because we want to be practical use to people, to do research or to do work in these areas and never develop any practical application would just be fruitless. And we have developed a lot of practical applications over the years that have proven now over 3 decades to be of benefit to people. We have a number of brochures and literature about the use of our techniques with professional people, dentists, lawyers, therapists, educators who use the hemisync technique in their own professions, as well as individuals on their own personal voyages through consciousness who look into this technique for themselves to see if this works for themselves.
So, in other words, there is help for, there's certainly help for individuals. Is it in the area of, well, I'll tell you what, we're at the bottom of the hour. Let's hold up just a moment. We'll come right back to you. And this, of course, is Dreamland on the CBC Radio Network. Journeys out of the body. We're discussing them. And what practical implications knowledge of these things might have for all of us. We'll be back. Everybody, welcome back. I am Art Bell. We're interviewing Robert Monroe of the Monroe Institute and company, most recently F. Holmes Atwater, who heads the research division at the Monroe Institute. And back now to the group. Hello there.
Hello.
Hi, is this still David?
Would you like to talk to Robert again for just a minute?
Sure, go ahead and put him on. Thank you, David.
Art?
Yes, sir.
I wanted to get our placement very accurate. We were very covert up until 1969, 69-70, simply for the reason that I was operating very conventional businesses. And I was very concerned when Journeys Out of the Body, I agreed to it, simply because I thought, this will affect my stockholders and so on in my company.
Yes, of course.
Interestingly enough, they didn't read those kind of books.
So there was not a problem then.
Not a problem. It was very interesting, and so we were still very private, as it were, in our work that we were doing up until the mid-'70s when Estlin, I don't know if you know about Estlin.
I do, yes.
Yeah, heard about our work and invited us to conduct a workshop up on Big Sur. And we thought, this will give us a whole bunch of new subjects to test with the material that we have. So we agreed to it, and we went up and did a workshop, and they immediately invited us to go to San Francisco and do another one the next weekend. And we had never thought of doing anything like that. So we originally said, we got to give this a name. So we called it the M5000 program.
M5000.
The reason that if we had 5,000 different subjects that we could test, we would have a wonderful base for data.
Of course.
Well, it didn't work quite like that, but what happened was that we began to get calls from other people as a result of that about other programs, doing this program over in other ways in other places. And I'll turn you now over to Dave Mulvey, and he'll tell you exactly what happened. All right?
All right, wonderful. Thank you. Dave Mulvey coming up. He heads the educational portion of the Monroe Institute.
Well, not head exactly, but I am one of the trainers for the educational programs at the Institute.
Fine, David.
Yeah.
Now you take the science and you apply it. How do you do that?
Well, that's correct. We have 4 basic programs. And one is a basic introductory program for people, and then we have 3 graduate programs. And we use this HemiSync technology to give people a set of mental tools. There's a understandable conception, perhaps a misconception out there oftentimes, that the programs are about the out-of-body experience, since that's what Mr. Monroe is so well noted for. However, the programs are much more detailed than that and much more about a personal exploration of oneself.
All right. Why might I come to you? What trouble might I have, or symptom might I have that I might want to explore or help with all of you?
Okay. Generally, I wouldn't say that people come necessarily with problems or symptoms, but more of a curiosity, a sense of wanting to know more about themselves, about their relationship to life and the physical side of themselves, and of course many people have at least an understanding or a glimmer of the non-physical side of themselves. So it's the curious who come here to find out more about who they are, and what we like to do is give them these tools that then they can take out and apply, not only in terms of exploration of consciousness, but also in terms of day-to-day practical tools that they can use to enhance their memory, to keep focused in a business meeting, for example, or to tap into a greater part of themselves for creative problem solving.
So concentration exercises.
Yes. Using the HemiSync signals to help people get into specific brainwave states so that they can then learn to implant certain types of tools or encodings that they can then take out into their day-to-day lives.
How well does it work?
It works very well, and that's based primarily on people's subjective reports, mind you. We do get a lot of feedback from participants who come to the programs, and we get letters and calls back of people who talk about how these tools enhance their lives in all kinds of ways, and sometimes ways that they might not be prepared for.
Well, do people come to you for a weekend or a week or a month, or how does that work?
Yes, most of our programs here in Virginia, all of our programs here in Virginia are 5-day to 5.5-day residential programs where they come and they are here immersed in the process. We also do weekend workshops. We've just started doing this, weekend workshops out at various places around the country. We've done several in Chicago, had a couple take place in California, have one coming up in August in California. Okay. And if I might, could I give our phone number for people who might be interested in getting some more information about the program?
Of course.
More detailed information?
Yes, of course.
Okay, our phone number here is area code 804, number 361-1252.